Let me start with this. If you mistrust the system, you'll miss the strategy. A lot of people say they don't trust the legal system. They don't trust courts. They don't trust taxes. They don't trust how assets get divided. But here's the reality. The people who build and preserve wealth in America don't fight the system. They structure within it. And one of the most powerful tools they use? Trusts. Trusts often get misunderstood. Some think they're loopholes. Some think they're only for billionaires. Some assume they're about hiding money. They're not. Trusts are legal frameworks that define ownership, management, and control in advance. And in the United States, they've been used for generations to protect businesses, preserve family wealth, clarify inheritance, reduce conflict, avoid probate, strengthen asset protection. They are strategy, not rebellion. Let's imagine a realistic situation. A business owner in his 40s has a growing company, a primary residence investment accounts, a few rental properties. He plans to remarry. After a difficult first divorce, he wants clarity this time, not confrontation. Instead of relying on verbal agreements or hoping for the best, he works with an estate planning attorney. Before marriage, certain assets are placed into a properly drafted trust. The trust clearly outlines who manages the assets, who benefits from them. What happens in the event of divorce? What happens in the event of death? Everything is documented. Everything is legal. Everything is established ahead of time. Years later, the marriage doesn't work out. It's unfortunate, but it happens. The difference? There's no financial chaos, because premarital assets were already separated. Business ownership was structured, documentation existed long before problems began. Instead of scrambling in court arguing over who owns what, the framework is already in place. Preparation didn't prevent the divorce, but it prevented unnecessary damage. Here's something most Americans overlook. Personal ownership exposes assets directly to personal risk. That includes lawsuits, divorce claims, probate delays, creditor exposure. When assets are placed into a properly structured trust, legal title changes, management authority is defined, succession becomes smoother, risk exposure can be reduced. This isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about organizing responsibility intelligently. Why fighting the system rarely works. Some people respond to mistrust by trying to step outside the system entirely. They file improper liens. They misunderstand commercial law. They attempt legal shortcuts. Almost every time, those strategies collapse. Why? Because the U.S. legal framework operates on documentation, jurisdiction, and structure. Trust law works inside that framework, not outside it. That's why it's respected. That's why courts uphold properly drafted trusts every day, living with structure. Serving as trustee doesn't mean hiding. It means managing. It means keeping assets separate from personal finances, following written fiduciary duties, maintaining documentation, avoiding commingling. That discipline alone often strengthens financial security. Structure creates clarity. Clarity reduces conflict. Conflict reduction protects wealth. If you mistrust the system, you'll miss the strategy. Because strategy isn't about rebellion, it's about preparation. The most financially stable families in America don't wait for lawsuits, divorces, or probate to start planning. They structure first. They document early. They define roles clearly. And they protect what they build. If you are building a business, acquiring property, entering a second marriage, creating a blended family, thinking about generational wealth, the real question isn't whether trusts are legitimate. They are. The question is, are you structuring proactively or reacting when it's too late? Because in America, the system rewards preparation, and the strategy is there for those willing to understand it. If you want to explore whether a trust strategy makes sense for your situation, let's talk. Every financial structure should be tailored, not copied. Book a consultation today and take the first step toward building with intention. And if you found this helpful, follow for more financial strategy, asset protection insights, and wealth building education.